Hello and welcome. Today we bring you powerful quotes on courage that will inspire you to face every challenge with strength and confidence. Courage is refusing to be silent when truth must be spoken. It is daring to raise your voice even when it shakes. That honesty is bravery. Bravery is standing firm in storms. It is holding your ground when everything tries to push you away. The strong remain unshaken. Courage is the strength to start small. It is building brick by brick without fear of failure. Greatness is created with patience. Bravery is protecting your heart from bitterness. It is choosing love when hate feels easier. That choice requires true strength. Courage is chasing your dreams no matter how far they seem. Distance is nothing when determination is strong. The brave never quit. Bravery is staying kind in a world that rewards cruelty. It is choosing compassion over hardness. That kindness is real courage. Courage means rising above fear of rejection. It is daring to try even when people may say no. That boldness opens new doors. Courage is the complement of fear. A man who is fearless cannot be courageous. He is also a fool. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Courage to me is doing something daring no matter how afraid, insecure, intimidated, alone, unworthy, incapable, ridiculed, or whatever other paralyzing emotion you might feel. Courage is taking action, no matter what. So you're afraid? Be afraid. Be scared silly to the point you're trembling and nauseous, but do it anyway. There is a stubbornness about me that never can bear to be frightened at the will of others. My courage always rises at every attempt to intimidate me. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Courage is never to let your actions be influenced by your fears. Courage isn't having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have strength. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the little voice at the end of the day that says, "I'll try again tomorrow." Great occasions do not make heroes or cowards. They simply unveil them to the eyes of men. Silently and perceptibly as we wake or sleep, we grow strong or weak. And last, some crisis shows what we have become. Confront the dark parts of yourself and work to banish them with illumination and forgiveness. Your willingness to wrestle with your demons will cause your angels to sing. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, "I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along." We don't develop courage by being happy every day. We develop it by surviving difficult times and challenging adversity. To share your weakness is to make yourself vulnerable. To make yourself vulnerable is to show your strength. Vulnerability sounds like truth and feels like courage. Truth and courage aren't always comfortable, but they're never weakness. It is not the strength of the body that counts, but the strength of the spirit. Courage is being scared to death but saddling up anyway. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. A man with outward courage dares to die. A man with inner courage dares to live. Have enough courage to trust love one more time and always one more time. Courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Life is not about living the safer option. Life is about living a life worth living. Courage doesn't happen when you have all the answers. It happens when you are ready to face the questions you have been avoiding your whole life. Because no matter what they say, you always have a choice. You just don't always have the guts to make it. Have courage for the great sorrows of life and patience for the small ones. And when you have laboriously accomplished your daily task, go to sleep in peace. God is awake. Courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at the testing point, which means at the point of highest reality. Everyone has talent. What's rare is the courage to follow it to the dark places where it leads. You cannot swim for new horizons until you have courage to lose sight of the shore. Have the courage to say no. Have the courage to face the truth. Do the right thing because it is right. These are the magic keys to living your life with integrity. Courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. If you are lucky enough to find a way of life you love, you have to find the courage to live it. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Courage is the price that life exacts for granting peace. It takes a lot of courage to show your dreams to someone else. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Bravery never goes out of fashion. William Makepeace Thackeray. Real courage is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. Doing the unpopular thing, because it's what you believe, and the heck with everybody. Pride is holding your head up when everyone around you has theirs bowed. Courage is what makes you do it. We have to be braver than we think we can be, because God is constantly calling us to be more than we are. You need to have faith in yourself. Be brave and take risks. You don't have to have it all figured out to move forward. He who jumps into the void owes no explanation to those who stand and watch. You can, you should, and if you're brave enough to start, you will. No matter how long you train someone to be brave, you never know if they are or not until something real happens. Take chances, make mistakes. That's how you grow. Pain nourishes your courage. You have to fail in order to practice being brave. And one has to understand that braveness is not the absence of fear, but rather the strength to keep on going forward, despite the fear. If you want to change things, it requires bravery. Scared is what you're feeling. Brave is what you're doing. Bravery is being the only one who knows you're afraid. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends.